I was talking with a friend the other day, a wonderful, sharp woman in her mid-70s. And she said something I hear so often. She said, "I just don't understand it. I go to bed at a reasonable time, but I'm up at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling. My mind is racing, and I just can't seem to switch it off. So by 2 in the afternoon, I'm absolutely exhausted, and I end up sinking into my favorite armchair for a nap. It feels like the only way I can get through the day." Does that sound familiar? That tug of war between nighttime restlessness and daytime fatigue? If it does, please know you are far from alone. It's one of the most common conversations I have with people in our stage of life. And that afternoon nap, that little escape into the armchair, it feels so good in the moment, doesn't it? It feels like a necessary recharge, a little gift we give ourselves to cope with the tiredness. But what if I told you that this well-intentioned habit might be the very thing quietly working against us? What if that daytime nap is actually stealing the quality of our nighttime sleep and, even more importantly, affecting the long-term health of our brilliant brains? It's a difficult idea to hear, I know. The thought of giving up that cozy afternoon rest can feel like a real loss. But stick with me for a little while. This isn't about taking away your comfort. It's about trading a short-term fix for something far more valuable: deep, restorative sleep at night, a clearer, sharper mind, and supporting our vitality for years to come. In our time together today, we're going to gently explore 7 reasons why reconsidering that daytime nap after 7:0 can be one of the most powerful gifts we can give to our sleep, our brain, and our overall longevity. And we'll start with perhaps the most straightforward reason of all, one that has to do with the simple, yet powerful, mechanics of our body's internal clock. You've probably heard of the circadian rhythm. It sounds like a complicated, scientific term, but it's really just a fancy name for our body's natural, 24-hour internal clock. Think of it as the master conductor of a grand orchestra. This conductor tells your body when it's time to be alert and awake, when the violins and trumpets should be playing loudly, and when it's time to wind down and sleep, when the music should become soft and lulling. This rhythm is heavily influenced by light, by our daily routines, and crucially, by our sleep patterns. Now, when we take a long nap, especially later in the afternoon, it's as if we've handed a new, energetic sheet of music to the conductor right in the middle of the day's gentle symphony. It throws off the tempo. Your body gets confused. It starts to think, "Oh, are we restarting the day? Is it time to be awake again?" So, when actual nighttime comes, and you're in your bed, ready for the conductor to cue the lullaby, the orchestra is still a bit restless. It's not quite ready to play the soft, slow music of sleep. You might go to bed at 10, but your internal clock is still set for 8. The result? You lie there, feeling awake, or you fall asleep but then find yourself wide awake at 2 or 3 in the morning, wondering what went wrong. By napping, we've essentially pushed our entire sleep schedule later, creating a cycle that's very hard to break. We're not tired at bedtime because we've already had a portion of our sleep quota filled by the nap. This leads us directly into the second reason, which is all about something called sleep pressure. Now, that might sound a bit clinical, but it's a wonderfully simple and intuitive concept. Imagine sleep pressure is like a gentle, steady wave that starts building in your brain from the very moment you wake up in the morning. A chemical called adenosine slowly accumulates in your brain throughout your waking hours. The longer you're awake, the more it builds up, and the sleepier you feel. This is the pressure rising. By the time evening comes, that wave is nice and high, ready to crest and carry you off into a deep, natural sleep. But when we take a nap, especially one that lasts for an hour or more, what are we doing? We're releasing that pressure. We're letting some of the air out of the tire. We're lowering the wave. So, when you get into bed that night, your brain hasn't had enough time to build up that sufficient, healthy level of sleep pressure to initiate and maintain a solid night's rest. You've partially reset the system. It's like having a big snack right before dinner. You're just not hungry enough for the main meal. You might fall asleep, but the drive for deep, sustained, restorative sleep isn't as strong as it should be. So, the sleep you do get is often lighter, more fragmented, and less refreshing. You've traded a deep, nourishing night's sleep for a brief, shallow daytime one. And it's that very depth, or lack thereof, of our nighttime sleep that brings us to our third point, which is perhaps the most crucial for our long-term cognitive health. This is about protecting the most precious sleep of all, deep sleep. Deep sleep, or what some scientists call slow-wave sleep, is not just any ordinary rest. This is the time when your brain gets to work on its most critical housekeeping tasks. It's when your brain flushes out the metabolic waste and toxins that have accumulated during the day. Think of it as the night shift cleaning crew that comes in after a busy day at the office. They take out the trash, tidy up the files, and get everything ready for a fresh start in the morning. One of the most harmful toxins this cleaning crew removes is a protein called beta amyloid. Now, you may have heard of this before. In healthy brains, it's cleared away each night. But when sleep is disrupted and shallow, this protein can start to clump together, forming plaques that are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. It's like if the cleaning crew kept getting interrupted and couldn't do their job, the trash would start to pile up. When we nap during the day, we are often robbing ourselves of this essential deep sleep at night. We might be in bed for 7 or 8 hours, but if a good portion of that is spent in light, fitful sleep because we lowered our sleep pressure, our brain doesn't get enough of this critical cleaning time. It's not just about the quantity of sleep, it's the quality that truly matters for our brain's long-term health. By preserving our natural sleep drive for the night, we ensure our brain gets the deep, cleansing rest it desperately needs to stay sharp, clear, and healthy for all the years to come. Now, these first 3 reasons really lay the foundation for why this shift in our thinking about naps is so important. We've talked about our internal clock, our natural sleep pressure, and the vital work of deep sleep. But there's more to this story, and it involves the subtle ways our daytime habits can influence not just our sleep, but our overall mood, our energy for the things we love, and even our social connections. It's fascinating, isn't it, how interconnected everything is? Our sleep isn't just a single, isolated event that happens for a few hours at night. It's woven into the very fabric of our entire day, how we feel, how we think, and even how we connect with the world around us. And that's exactly where we'll gently continue our conversation. You see, when we rely on that daytime nap to get us through, it can sometimes have a surprising effect on our mood. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but a nap makes me feel better. And in the immediate moment, that can be very true. It's an escape from the fatigue. But I want you to think about the after part of the nap. That period when you first wake up. Have you ever noticed that you can sometimes feel a little groggy or even a bit low? A little irritable, perhaps? There's a name for that feeling, sleep inertia. It's that heavy, foggy feeling that can linger after waking up from a deep sleep, especially from a longer nap. When we wake up from a nap in the late afternoon, we're not just waking up to the rest of our day, we're often waking up as the daylight is starting to fade. That combination of sleep inertia and diminishing light can cast a bit of a shadow over our evening. Instead of feeling recharged and ready to enjoy a lovely dinner, or a phone call with a loved one, or a favorite television program, we might feel disconnected, a bit out of sorts. It can subtly dampen our enthusiasm for those little evening pleasures. By skipping that nap and pushing through that afternoon slump, perhaps with a cup of tea and a good book by a bright window, or a few gentle stretches, we often find that we arrive at the evening with a much clearer, more stable, and positive mood. We're present for our lives, rather than recovering from a nap. And being present leads us so beautifully into the next point, which is all about the energy for living a vibrant life. This is really about trading a passive state for an active one. Let's be honest, a nap is, by its very nature, a surrender. It's us saying to the day, I can't handle any more of you right now. And there are certainly times when that is absolutely necessary. But when it becomes a daily habit, we can inadvertently start to lose our daytime vitality. That wonderful, active energy we could be using for the things that truly light us up begins to fade. Think about a hobby you love, maybe gardening, or woodworking, or painting. Or perhaps it's the simple joy of reading a compelling book without your eyes getting heavy. Imagine having the mental and physical alertness to fully immerse yourself in that activity in the afternoon. When we reserve our sleep for the night, we consolidate our energy into our waking hours. It's like gathering all your resources into one strong, bright flame, rather than having it sputter out and need relighting in the middle of the day. This isn't about pushing yourself to exhaustion, far from it. It's about structuring your day so that your natural energy is available to you when you are awake, allowing you to be an active participant in your own life. It's about having the zest to say yes to a spontaneous phone call from a grandchild, or to decide to take a gentle stroll around the garden because you feel the capacity to do so. That's the kind of energy that supports a long, engaged, and fulfilling life. Now, this idea of being an active participant brings me to a reason that is so often overlooked, but I believe it's incredibly important. It's about the subtle, yet profound, impact on our social and emotional world. Our daily rhythms, our routines, they aren't just for us. They connect us to other people. The afternoon and early evening are often when the world around us is still buzzing. It's when a neighbor might pop by for a visit, when our friends are most likely to be available for a chat, or when family members are finishing up their day and have a moment to connect. If we are in a habit of napping during these precious social windows, we can unintentionally isolate ourselves. We might miss that phone call or have to tell a visitor at the door that we were just resting. Over time, this can gently pull us away from the very connections that nourish our souls and keep our minds active. Conversation, laughter, sharing stories, these are not just pleasant pastimes, they are fundamental to our cognitive and emotional health. They are a workout for our brain that a nap could never provide. By staying awake and alert during these hours, we keep ourselves available for the spontaneous magic of human connection. We stay in the flow of life, and that flow is a powerful current that carries us forward, keeping us engaged, loved, and part of a community. These reasons we've been exploring, from our mood, to our active energy, to our social connections, they all paint a picture of a fuller, more engaged daytime life. But there's still one more layer to this, one that ties all of this back to the very core of our physical health and longevity in a way you might not have considered before. It has to do with what our body is doing, on a cellular level, when we are awake and active versus when we are asleep at the wrong time. It's remarkable, when you think about it, how our simple, daily choices can ripple outwards, touching everything from our morning mood to our evening conversations. And as we've been talking, it becomes clear that this isn't just about sleep, it's about crafting a day filled with purpose, connection, and vibrant energy. But there is one final, powerful reason to consider, one that reaches right down to the cellular level of our being, influencing our health in ways science is only just beginning to fully understand. This last point has to do with our body's innate, powerful healing rhythm. You see, our bodies are designed to follow a strict, natural schedule. By day, we are meant to be active, to move, to eat, to engage. This is when our metabolism is tuned for processing food into energy, when our muscles are ready for use. By night, in the deep, uninterrupted dark, our bodies shift into repair and restoration mode. This is when crucial hormones are released, tissues are rebuilt, and our immune system does its most diligent work. It's a beautiful, elegant dance between action and rest. Now, when we introduce a long period of sleep in the middle of that active day, we send a confusing signal to this entire system. It's like telling a factory that's in full production mode to suddenly switch off its lights and shut down for maintenance, only to start up again an hour later. This disruption isn't just about feeling groggy, it can interfere with some of our most fundamental biological processes. For instance, our bodies become less sensitive to insulin during daytime sleep, which can affect how we manage blood sugar. It can also alter the release of cortisol, our primary stress hormone, which is supposed to be high in the morning to help us get going and low at night to help us wind down. When we nap excessively, we muddle this crucial rhythm, and chronic disruption like this is a silent stressor on the entire body. Over time, preserving a clear, strong distinction between our active day and our restful night is one of the most supportive things we can do for our long-term physical health and resilience. It's about aligning with our body's deepest wisdom. So, when we step back and look at all of this together, from protecting our deep sleep and clearing our brains, to boosting our daytime mood and energy, to staying connected with our loved ones, and finally, to supporting our body's core healing rhythms, a very clear and hopeful picture emerges. This isn't a story about giving something up. It's a story about gaining so much more in return. It's about trading a brief escape for a truly restorative night, and a foggy afternoon for a day filled with clarity and the capacity for joy. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, this all makes sense, but what if I'm just so terribly tired? What can I possibly do instead? And that is such an important question. This isn't about white-knuckling your way through exhaustion. It's about smart, gentle strategies. If that afternoon slump hits, could you try a different kind of rest? Perhaps 10 minutes of sitting outside in the fresh air, listening to the birds? Or putting on a favorite piece of music and just closing your eyes while you listen, without the intention of sleeping? Maybe a very gentle stretch, or a cup of tea while you look out the window. These are forms of rest that recharge your spirit without sabotaging your night. The goal is to break the cycle, not to punish yourself for being tired. I truly hope this conversation has given you a new, empowering perspective. A little shift in our routine can sometimes open the door to a significant upgrade in our quality of life. This is your journey, and your well-being is the ultimate goal. I would love to hear about your experiences. Have you tried cutting back on naps? What did you notice? Or maybe you have a wonderful way of coping with the afternoon slump that you could share with everyone. Your wisdom is so valuable, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. If this resonated with you, if it felt like a friendly and helpful chat, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It's my sincere goal to fill this space with practical, supportive conversations just like this one, all aimed at helping us all live our very best lives in these wonderful years. Remember, it's never too late to make a small change that can make a big difference. Here's to your deep, restorative sleep, to your bright, engaged days, and to your health and happiness for all the years to come. Thank you for spending this time with me.